All right, what's up, everybody? Yes, it is what you want, what you need, what you're looking for, what you need to hear. It's Up On Game. Got my man TJ Hushmanzada. I got my guy Plaxico Burrs. I'm LaVar Arrington. We're here. We got some really cool topics to jump on today. And let's start off with the most interesting one of them all, fellas. Clay Travis had some interesting things to say. Here's what he said.
A good boys high school state champion team would smoke the WNBA champion. One of the Las Vegas Aces, her name is Chelsea Gray. She called me a dumbass. So I responded, I'll put $1 million on the line. Your WNBA champion team against a 2024 high school boys state champion team of my choice. That offer is out there. And when my boys state champion teams kicks the crap out of the WNBA champion, my overall point will be made, which is boys shouldn't be competing in women's athletics because boys are bigger, stronger, and faster, even high school boys, than grown women who are the best at playing their sport. If you think that I'm wrong, show up, prove I'm wrong. My money is where my mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is, WNBA. Put your money where your mouth is, Las Vegas Aces. Ball, quite literally, is in your court.
Fellas, Clay Travis is going to put $1 million up for being called a dumbass to challenge his state championship high school basketball team of choice to play against the Aces in a game, a charity game, and he says if he loses, he will pay out $1 million to the roster of the Aces. If he wins, he will pay out that $1 million that they have to pay him to the kids that are playing on the team that proved his point correct. Now, before I get y'all's opinions, let me hit you with this. The roster of the Las Vegas Aces, the guards on the team, from Kirsten Bell to Sydney Colson, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, Raquina Williams, Jackie Young, 6'1", 5'8", 5'11", 5'8", 5'7", 6 foot. The forwards, Alicia Clark, Kayla George, Candace Parker, Aja Wilson. Did I get it right, or is it Asia? I think it's Asia. Okay, it's Asia. 5'11" for Clark, 6'4" for George, 6'4" for Parker, 6'4" for Wilson. Those are your tallest players on the team. At center, you have Elena. Is that it? Elena Coates and Kia Stokes. Elena's at 6'4". Kia is at 6'3". 225, 191. The heaviest player on the team is 192. All right. Now, I just picked randomly last year's state champion national title team, Link Academy. Link Academy had their forward, Brandon Benjamin, 6'8". LeBaron Fallon, their guard, 6'4". T.O. Barrett, their guard, 6'4". Aaron Rowe, their guard, 6'1". Their center, James Brown, 6'10". Jalen Shelley, 6'8". TJ Stutley, 6'4". Trey Johnson, 6'6". Jasper Johnson, 6'4". The high school team would clearly have height advantage. Now, weights are comparable, which is funny, but weights are comparable. So in the size realm, they're not heavier than the ladies in the WNBA, but they are taller as a whole. Clay thinks that the boys team would beat them. They said the name. Who called him a dumbass? Hold on. Let's go back. It was Chelsea Gray. All right. She calls him a dumbass. He challenges him. To this point, no one has responded yet. but what I mean, he said that WNBA doesn't matter. I ain't going to go as far as to say WNBA doesn't matter. I think they're talented. I think they can play ball, but I just know if I were to see the most elite championship team play a WNBA game, I don't know. I don't know.
You know what? I don't think the WNBA is going to respond because they're not going to give him the gratification of going out there and basically not being humiliated, but to give him the opportunity to be able to be proved right is, I think, that's what the WNBA and the players in the Las Vegas, what they will be worried about. So I don't think they're going to entertain it just because of that reason. But I would have to say that if he gets to pick any team that he wanted to play against the WNBA champion, I would probably say they will lose. I really would.
Who would lose?
The WNBA. I think that they will lose because it's a different brand and a different style of ball, man. From a physical standpoint, and being able to get up and down the court, jumping high, dunking, and all of those things, they can't defend things like that in the paint and getting out on transition. So I think that's where they will be most vulnerable at, as far as getting the ball down in the paint, having to bang with those young men, run up and down the court, rebounding, jumping and dunking. I mean, how are they going to defend it? So I would say with that they would probably lose.
Who? TJ?
Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I'm going with the WNBA, and I look. We know the men are going to have a physical advantage, quickness, explosiveness. But are we talking the understanding of the game, the technical aspect, the skilled aspect? The WNBA has a huge advantage. You zone them up. How many high school kids are just going to sit back there and shoot? You zone them up. You
These
use
days? These
you use
days?
they gonna shoot, but is it gonna go in? You use your
The
skill.
top we talking top ranked high school program, TJ.
Listen, hey, all them kids you just named, I follow high school basketball, not a ton, but I follow it. I ain't never heard of them. I ain't heard. They ain't Cooper Flag. They not the Boozer twins. They ain't none of them. They ain't Carmelo's son. They ain't none of them kids.
They're the
And
best in
so
the country last
I,
year.
I think the skill of the WNBA players, specifically the Las Vegas Aces, that cohesiveness that they have as a team, the understanding of how to win. Yeah, they not gonna be able to match up uh, with athletic ability, but you can slow the game down. You can play zone, and you'll be fine. I really think the WNBA would win it, and I agree with Plex. They're not gonna give Clay Travis the satisfaction of even playing that game to prove himself right, but I really believe if they were to play that game, the WNBA would win.
That man said, "I got 100 million. I ain't got no problem putting $1 million of my own
Yeah,
money
he
up to
really
prove the
did
point."
big time.
He pulled a flex. He pulled a flex on them.
Yeah, he
Hey,
did.
listen.
Yeah, he
I,
did.
while I don't really kind of bang with the way he did it, I don't think he's inaccurate. And it pains me to say that because I am a fan of the WNBA. I am a fan of women's athletics. Obviously, I'm a daughter dad, so I'm partial and I'm biased. But if I'm breaking it down by matchups, and the only way I think that they could possibly win is by slowing the game down and turning it into a very structured half court type of game. They would have to slow the game down because if it's just a pickup running gun game, there's no way they're going to be able to
Hey,
match
you
the
know a lot of these
athleticism.
women, they practice.
They practice with dudes.
Yeah.
I
So
understand, but 5-on-5 practice with dudes is definitely different than you being out there on the court and it's two girls and three
no,
dudes and
LaVar, did you see the thing on TV yesterday? I'm watching ESPN. They're interviewing Don Staley. Her South Carolina team is practicing. They're going 5-on-5.
5-on-5 against dudes.
5-on-5 against
I can
dudes.
see
All
that.
the dudes had on green highlighter shirts, and she's so. You think the WNBA players aren't used to that playing against men? Now they may not be as athletic, but you can stop athletic ability to a certain degree. You can stop all of that
You
to a
can
certain.
offset athletic skill overcomes athletic ability every day. It's going to outdo it every day. But with that being said, you're talking about he's saying I want to pick the most elite championship team in the country and pit them against them. Most of these kids, I know you might have not have heard of them, and I ain't heard of them either. They're out of Missouri. But what I will say is you see these kids, they're recruiting these kids. That Link Academy, it's an academy.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
they were recruiting these kids. Them
Hey,
top
here,
programs, Mount Verde in Florida, they're recruiting these kids.
here,
IMG,
down
they're
here.
recruiting these kids.
Yes,
Those kids are good enough to go pro. Look at Lonzo Ball. What he do? He go play overseas because he couldn't go straight into the NBA. Some of these dudes are physically gifted enough to go play in the NBA right out of high school. Now, I ain't saying be a superstar, but athletically and talent wise, they're gifted enough to be able to go play in the
I don't care
NBA.
how gifted they are. I'm rolling with the WNBA, bro. I just can't. Just up here, man. I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of like Monteverde and IMG, like recruiting these kids. So Don Bosco, which is here in New Jersey, Dylan Ron Harper's son plays for them. He's probably number 2 player in the country. So they got a transfer from IMG. This kid is like from Cameroon or somewhere. The
So he's
kid,
like, so he's like 7'9".
the kid is 7'1", and
Yeah.
he is absolutely spectacular. I don't think anybody's going to be able to guard him this year in high school basketball. Uh, Going to college, he's probably going to play 1 year and out the door. I don't know. I forget the kid's name, but when you see him and you hear about him,
We
just,
gonna know.
I'm just
Bro,
letting you know. Those are the kind of players that these girls would be playing up against for these young men, 7'1", and this kid is agile, shoot the basketball, all of that.
I played travel league basketball. I played for the Pittsburgh Jets growing up. Dan Forson was the most notable dude on our team that I played with. And we were on the road, and I would never forget the we did the Sharon Hoyle tournament. We did the big tournament in Ohio. I forget what it's called. We did the big tournament in Vegas. And I saw Kobe Bryant playing, a high school Kobe Bryant. I saw Stephon Marbury playing. I saw Lamar Odom playing, Samaki Walker, Donald Foyle, Antoine Walker. I seen all these dudes, Kareem Reed. Some people might not even know who Kareem Reed is. Some of
Yeah,
these
Glenn
dudes were
Reed, the lefty from Missouri. Come on, bro.
no, he was. I think he went to Arkansas, I believe. He's from New York. He played for one of those two, the Gauchos or somebody else. But I even saw Felipe Lopez, like all these dudes in high school. I'm just telling you right now, all due respect to women's athletics, all due respect. But I'm just telling you, one of them, one of them on that team, on one of them high school teams, is running through an NBA roster. One
I'm
of them,
I don't.
Stephon Marbury in high school,
Nah,
Lamar Odom in high school.
Lamar Odom 6'10".
I,
Nah,
I'm just telling. I'm Samaki Walker in high school. I'm just telling you, them type of dudes by themselves. You put 4 other dudes around them. Them dudes, Kobe Bryant by himself is going to destroy that team. If
I
you
played.
ask me.
Hey, I played AAU basketball, so I played against Kobe and played with Tim Thomas. Uh, I watched Rasheed Wallace and Felipe Lopez play against each other at ODU when I was a senior. We ain't even got to the Joe Smith and the Allen Iversons yet. When you start talking to guys like that in high school who played 1 year of college and they was the number 1 pick in the draft, Lonzo, come on, man.
hey,
And
listen,
these are the type of talents that are
I'm
going to these
rolling
private
with
schools.
WNBA, man. I'm
All
you
right.
y'all discrediting uh the
Nobody's
skill.
discrediting them,
And I
TJ.
don't want
Yeah.
it to come across that way. See,
Well, it is. Well, it
you're
is. Well,
after this segment, all the WNBA girls is going to be inboxing you talking about, oh TJ, I love how you use Pantene on your hair, but more importantly, I loved how you supported us in that discussion. These guys, they don't give us no respect, da da da, this, that, and other. Shots out to the
they got
WNBA.
all the
All
respect
the
they need from
respect,
the real.
all the respect. I promise you that.
I just feel like they would win
You're
straight up.
not going to convince me that a dude that can do the things that a Stephon Marbury did in high school, or Kobe Bryant, what he was doing, or AI did, what they was doing, and guys are largely in part for real, probably more
Hey,
talented than they were back then at
y'all,
this
y'all
point.
know, y'all know, like they're in high school, and these women are professionals. Like
Yes.
they're in high school.
All right, but when you really think about it, think about this, right? A kid that's in high school is probably 17, 18 years old. Some of them might be turning 19 at the end of the
20,
year.
they hold backs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now, they're going to go into the league in 1 to 2 years after going to college.
yeah,
They're going to be 18 or 19 years old going into to the pros.
yeah.
So you're really only separating them from being pros for 1 year, 1 or 2 years.
LaVar, how many guys that play 1 year and when they go into the NBA, they just that guy? It's very, very rare.
They don't have to be that guy, though. They don't
It's,
have to be that guy. They're going to the pros. They're
yeah,
going to
but
the pros. You don't have to be a guy to be able to be good
and
enough to whoop
you're
on
talking,
a
you're
woman's
talking the,
basketball team.
you're talking the best WNBA team. You're not talking a team that didn't make the playoffs. You're talking about a team that won a championship.
I get it. I get it. I get it, but that's not
Now,
that's
and
not that's not profoundly impacting me to change what I'm
well,
saying.
hey, I'm
That
rolling.
like that didn't hit me like, oh, that's like,
Hey,
you know what? You right.
opportunity to see that happen, we'll
We're
know.
there. We're
I
there.
I I
Oh, we're
agree.
not going to just know. We're going.
I agree
Hey,
with Black.
Clay Travis, if you get this to happen, and let's do it this way. Let's get some girls that are not active in the league, but they're WNBA caliber girls.
This
Like
what Clay
let's
Travis.
set up
This,
a exhibition.
this is what Clay Travis should do. This is what if he's serious. This is what he should do. Just put up the $1 million. Uh, the WNBA shouldn't have to put up anything. Winner takes it. That's what you do. That's what you do. So now the high school players, it's an NIL deal. For the WNBA players, it's an extra 100 grand because they got to split that.
Hey Clay, if you listening, man, just put the
That's
$1 million up. You could get one of them sponsors. I mean, you got 100 million. What's $1 million out your
it's,
100 million
it's a
player?
write off for him. It's a
You
write
dig
off.
what I'm saying? Golly. All right, let's keep the smoke going on. Fellas, one of our guys. This is how I met TJ, and he was our teammate in New York. The captain, the football brain himself, is now named the interim head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's give it up for Antonio Pierce. Shouts out to AP. He gets his opportunity in a turbulent environment, but nonetheless, they overlook two coordinators. Now, I thought this was interesting. They overlooked two coordinators to elevate to interim head coach and make Antonio Pierce the linebackers coach, the interim head coach. What say you guys to this decision? What's your reaction to it?
I mean, I think it's a great thing. I really do. I played against AP in junior college, so we go back 30 years technically, almost 30 years. Damn, we're really old, but almost 30 years. I played against AP in junior college, played against him in college, played against him in the league. AP is extremely bright, as you guys know from being his teammate. Really, really smart player, a leader of men, and so I believe he's going to do a hell of a job. I hope he does a hell of a job because it will open up eyes to former players that are coaching. They can actually get the job done as a head coach, and it just doesn't have to be a position coach. You can actually be a head coach. And so, with his ability to lead, his IQ, his football knowledge, his awareness, I believe he's going to do a hell of a job. Now, it's not going to be easy because you fired off as a coordinator. Now, the quarterback coach is going to be the coordinator. And so, there's going to be challenges along the way and from that aspect. But he has a good portion of this. Technically, he has half of the season to prove his case. And,
Mm-hmm.
and so, if he does a great job, if the Raiders don't hire him, maybe another team will. I mean, because last year with Basaccia and Mayock, when they fired Gruden, you would have thought they would have hired Basaccia, and then they went to get the Patriot
That's
way.
right. That's right.
And unless you can bring Tom Brady, that's Tom Brady is the Patriot way. If you ask TJ,
Yep.
Tom Brady is the Patriot way because without Brady, you tell me what the way is.
Yeah.
Mm. Uh, AP texted me at 4:34 was 7 o'clock this morning, which would have made it 4:34 on his end. He texted me this morning, and I was like, "Damn, coach, you up early?" He said, "It's time to go." And everything as you just said, looking over the two coordinators, I think Mark Davis understands who AP is as a person and what kind of personality he's going to bring to this football team. Listen, the man is highly intelligent, man, when it comes to coaching. He understands concepts. He understands that defense, obviously, because he was the captain of that defense, which we won a Super
Spagnolia.
Bowl with.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is Magnolia over there in Oakland. I mean, over there in Vegas, basically what
Yeah.
he is. And he understands how to run that defense exactly as Spags would run it. But more importantly, I just think that, he understands like the position that he has been called to put on. And this man, he gonna give everything he has to this organization and to these team and to these players because I think, one thing that is lacking, which has been lacking at the professional level, is like these kids like being prideful of being able to play in this league and and the detail you need to have if you want to be a winning football team. And I think he's gonna bring the detail defensively. And look, listen, if you ain't getting the job done, even when he was playing, oh, he'll let you know. And the fact that he has this opportunity to be an interim head coach for the rest of the year, the players will have a tremendous amount of respect for him. They know what he brings to the team and to the table, and he is going to coach and teach these young men the correct in a detailed fashion of how to play football. And I think they're gonna respond very well to it. I really do because it's a different dialogue when you have a coach, somebody like him who's young, who understands that you can talk to and speak to, and now the players are in the same exact position that he was, 7, 8 years ago as being a player in this league, and now he has the opportunity to teach them the same exact thing.
I think that's why he was looked at, and that's why he was put in the position that he's put in. If you're paying attention to how athletics are trending, look at the Detroit Lions. Right, it's a great example. Look at Schwartz and those guys. Not Schwartz, but what's my guy's name in Philadelphia right now? The coach of Philadelphia, the Eagles, Sirianni. You look at these guys, and those hard nosed, competitive guys, they're player first guys. They're player first guys. They have relationships with these players. The one thing that we always talk about if you want to get the most out of these players, whether it's high school, college, pro, if you these days in the 2020s of time, if you want to get the best out of these young adults, you have to show them you care. Now, as simple as that concept may seem, I just don't get from a Josh McDaniels or some of these coaches around the league that they care. They don't care. You don't care about me as a person. Whether I live or die, you're just worried about what you're worried about as it applies to this team's success. You don't see me as a person. You don't see me. But AP has always seen guys. AP has always related on a very personal level, and guys are open to it. There's not very many coaches that are open enough and flexible enough and humble enough to put their egos aside and be like, I need to listen to my players. I need to relate to my players. Some of these guys are really intelligent and in tune to what we need to do. The coaches that do that, I think, are the ones that
LaVar,
generally are successful.
that's just called being a human, bro. That's called being a human. We communicate. Like any player that played football, when you had a human, not a player, when you had a real relationship with your coach,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't want to let him down. So you gave everything that you had. That's all it is. And he
Mm-hmm.
understands that. And the biggest problem is a lot of these coaches don't. They'll lie to you straight to your face and go upstairs to those meetings and say another thing that they just told you. That's the biggest thing as players. You be honest with me. I may not like what you're saying, but I damn sure will respect it.
Mm-hmm. They're saying Aiden O'Connell will start. He's a
As
rookie
he should.
QB.
As
Um,
he should.
and it's interesting because it's a Week 9 matchup against his former team and y'all's
Hey,
teammates, the New York Giants.
you
So
talk
this
about you
the
talk about
perfect the
irony.
perfect remedy ordered up from the
Oh
doctor,
man,
right?
I
A
can,
game
I can,
against them.
Hey, what a coincidence, right?
I can already see it, man. What a coincidence. Hey, it might be the possibility I may be on the Raiders sideline with the Raiders hat, shirt, jersey, and everything this weekend. I mean, you just never really know.
Right, right.
I think
You guys? What's a win? What's a win for AP? Like he takes over his interim. What type of performance does it take for him to be looked at seriously for taking over this gig moving forward?
he told me there's 5 games. I think he's at 5 or 6 games that he has to win to be come back as the head coach, which would be this weekend. They have the Giants, they have the Jets on the schedule, Indianapolis. I think it's Denver and Carolina. I think
Those are all winnable.
those are
Those
the
are all
five
winnable
games,
games.
5 to 6 wins. I mean, if he can get to 10 wins from here, that would be incredible. But I think if he wins 5 to 6 games, I think Mark Davis consider bringing him in as the long-term head coach.
Hmm.
I just want to see him change the culture of what's going on. The Raiders just lost to the Chicago Bears and a quarterback making his first start from a Division II school. Maybe Division III, I forget. But they got beat bad. And so, from that perspective, bring us some cohesiveness. Bring us and let us play competitive football. We can't have our quarterback overthrowing our best receiver twice in one game, and there's a game that we could possibly win, and those type of things are happening. He's going to bring just
Pressure.
the respect. They gonna compete. That's what if they don't do anything, they will compete.
I'm talking about this game on Sunday. What he bringing is pressure. You can believe that. He coming in to make a splash. Max Crosby on the boy, he gonna turn them boys loose. Especially if we don't even know who the starting quarterback for the game gonna be this weekend. If it's gonna be DeVito or Daniel Jones, it don't matter. If that boy Tommy DeVito is starting this weekend, he gonna be seeing ghosts.
There you have it. This is Up On Game. You can get all the content we give you if you just go to Up On Game, wherever it is that you get your podcast from. You can check us out also with what we got going on with Up On Game Presents. Make sure you check out the radio show on weekend, Saturday from 9 to 11 Pacific, but it's noon to 2 on the East Coast, all right? So we'll be back with you tomorrow. Until then, we appreciate you. We'll check you out. That's TJ Hushmanzada. That's Plexico Burrs. I'm LaVar Arrington. Holla, Fox Sports Radio.